Welcome back to the Roadside Rescue YouTube channel. I'm Ernest. On this episode, I've got a Toyota Highlander behind me. I just got into this apartment complex that's like notorious for bad parking. It's really hard to find a parking spot in here. I say that, but there's plenty of open spots because it's early in the day and people are leaving. I was just worried I wouldn't be able to get close to this car. Luckily, there was one spot open in front of it, so I had to squeeze in here. And I mean squeeze, I had to parallel park. Gave myself a little bit of extra room off the curb so I can use my tailgate to work on this car. That should be nice because it's right behind me. I've got all the motor mounts and I think there's a transmission mount for it. Hopefully nothing goes wrong. I lost my long pry bar the other day. I'll tell you that story in a minute. I was surprised how I lost it. Anyways, hopefully I have a medium pry bar, like an 18-inch pry bar. Hopefully that's all I need. But if I need a longer one, then I'm gonna run to Walmart and grab one. I figured I'll just wait and figure out if I need one or not. So get one of the nice hyper tough strikeable ones. It's one of the internet's favorite pry bars, so those are the ones I'm going to. Now I've always said once I break these pry bars, but I lost one of them, so time to upgrade. And time to get started. That's enough rambling. They left the hood popped for me. I said that's all they need to do, so hopefully I can have this done in less than 4 hours would be long. I'm thinking I can have it done in less than 3. Get it up. So. Lots of space. Lots of space. To do that one's gonna be nice. That gives us lots of space in the back there. Here's this wishbone I've got to replace, and that means there's gonna be one on the back side of that transmission somewhere. Okay, found the other one. It's right there. This might be the best way to see it with the tire on still. Right there. That's one of them. So that one's not going to be too hard. Looks like the hardest one is going to be, it's kind of in the same spot though. It might not be that hard either. That one, yeah, definitely looks harder, but still not impossible. So I'm going to do one side at a time. Just jack one side up, do that side, put it all back together, set it down, come back to that. So that leaves 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'll probably do, yeah, look how short that is. I'll probably do those last, if I have to guess. We'll see. Go ahead and get started. Looks like we got a bad leak on the valve cover gasket as well, so I will advise them of that. Nice car though. First thing I'm going to do is just disconnect the battery for safety measures. Okay, that's some corrosion in that. Yeah, I know. Sometimes I disconnect the positive first because I want to. So I'm going to clean that up. I'll probably clean that one up before I leave anyways. What was I going to say? Yeah, I'm going to start on that bottom one. Right down here, because I think I might need to disconnect another motor mount in order to take it off. Like if I need to jack the motor up, I'll probably have to disconnect that one and that one. So if I do those first and then I go down there and realize I have to disconnect them anyways, I'll basically be doing these twice. That doesn't look grounded. It ain't grounded. Somebody must have replaced the starter at some point and left a ground. It looks like just a homemade ground strap to ground the transmission. Just going up to this, I'm guessing that's ground. Alright, so I got it jacked up. I just did the shake test. Nice and sturdy. Only once have I ever done the shake test, and that car was super wobbly, could have fallen on me, so I always do it. Reminded me of when I was at a junkyard one time though, and I snuck a jack in to get a motor mount off of an old vehicle in the junkyard in a different state. Anyways, I was up there just jacking the motor up on this vehicle in the junkyard that was sitting on old welded together rims. and I was jacking the motor up and I knocked the whole car over into the car beside it. Tipped the whole car on its side, so yeah, I just bought the motor mount after that. I just left. None of that today though. We're gonna have to jack up a little motor, but not much. Looks like this is a decently friendly design to replace. Okay, so that's this mount sitting in this orientation. That gives us 3 nuts on the bottom because there's 3 studs, and the one on the top I might have to remove the bracket to get that out because this thing looks keyed, but that shouldn't be a big deal. Just kind of one hidden bolt back there, but a wrench will get on that easy. And then yeah, I'm gonna leave everything else hooked up. Hopefully I can replace this and the motor won't move when I pull this out because those other 3 are still attached, even though that one's pretty bad. We'll see. We'll see. It should be close. Okay, so to do this, this should be all the tools we need. Choose your size of sockets. I've got 1/2 inch, and I've got some wrenches to get to the ones behind that. Those are 14mm back there. This one's a 19, and the 3 on the bottom are 17mm. So I've got a wrench and some extra sockets over here just in case. But I think 1 set of sockets will do if you want, and a set of wrenches in those 3 sizes. Nice and rust free. I think this vehicle's from the south. And that's all the 17mm, just like that. The 14s are going to be the hardest back here. So let's go ahead and do that 19 then. I know this is a stud on the top, and we've got to put our new stud into this new one, but I don't think it's gonna make a difference trying to remove the stud. I don't think it's gonna be possible without removing the bracket. Well, I saved the hardest bolt to get to on that bracket for last. I've got it broken free, but I can feel that it's just tight to spin loose, so I know that motor's putting some pressure on it. I'm gonna go ahead, get a piece of wood and slightly jack up the bottom of this motor and take that weight off. All right, I just took that weight off, and this is coming out by hand now, so that's nice. Okay, so you're gonna have to leave the bolt in there because it bumps up against it. You have to turn this thing diagonally, slide it down onto this, and then turn it into place. It's a little weird. Like that. So you gotta kind of pull it up and out at an angle. Like that. Anyways, easy peasy. Oh, well, we got a line going over that. Barely touching it. Just push that out of the way with my hand, but I'll need 2 hands. Okay, there's the hole that comes out of. So you should be able to do this one in like an hour or less. Like, a good thing I wore my boots because I didn't know this puddle was gonna be here. Okay, this one's super easy. Just 2 bolts. Pry bar time. Okay, so I got that tightened up. You saw I needed the pry bar to line those bolts up. No big deal. I've got the 2 bottom nuts off of this one here because the way the motor mount's just sitting, literally sitting on that one, it won't matter when I'm back here on this corner. And I've got it jacked up because, again, before I do that one, I want to make sure I can do this one. So, safely jacked up. Let's get this tire off, and that'll be this one. The stud on that other one was too big, so I had to reuse the stud. Well, that's serendipitous. I took those nuts off. I would have needed to take them off regardless because I've got to jack this side up off of this stud. Maybe the hole's big enough to just remove the stud through it. That would be nice. Then I'd only need like 1/2 inch to 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch of clearance. Oh no, I still need more for those studs underneath. Huh, this side's trickier. But I think I should be able to jack the transmission up enough to make it work. Oh yeah, that's again plenty of room and a good design to be able to twist and line everything up. Sorry you couldn't see that at all. Great design to be able to twist and line everything up to get it out and in. Great design. That's going to be, I mean, you got to get the transmission right up to there, right whenever you can hear all the wiring harnesses start to crinkle and crankle from pressure. That's when I stopped, and that's right when it came out easy peasy. Well, I almost panicked there for a second because I could not get the stud out of that. I didn't think it was a stud anyways because of this pin right there, but it was just twisting the whole rubber bushing. That was not a stud, and I was like, dag nabbit, because I knew this one was too big on the other side, but on this side, it fits. So no worries here. We'll run this bigger stud and get this back together. Almost done. So yeah, like an hour max on each side. I think the book time was a good little chunk over an hour, but that's a nice bread and butter job there. Okay, well, I got everything lined up. It was a little tough, just a little tough. I didn't even need a pry bar. I just found out why. And that's because this stud didn't go back in. I can bonk it back in. In fact, it's probably gonna be easier if I just knock that in and then take that out. No, I don't think it matters. Let's try and take that out first. 17mm looks like. Okay, that one was easy to swap-a-roo also. I took the weight off of the transmission and took that bolt out. I took the bolt out first and it popped. Then I took a little bit of the weight off the transmission and it just slid out, and the new one slid in. I had to jack the transmission up to the right spot again, just like on every other mount. It took 2 seconds and going back together. Okay, let's go back and torque the wheels by hand. And I've already checked the tightness after I used the impact. I always check the tightness by hand. I've just got to do that on these two and I'll be done. Oh, and I've got to put this cover back on. Okay, well, I absolutely flew through those motor mounts. It's only been like an hour and a half, so that was good. Yeah, cleaning up, gonna head home. Car's not even unlocked, so easier than I thought. I don't know if I just did it a crazy easy way or if I got lucky. It didn't seem that hard. If I had to do it again, I think it would take about the same amount of time, so definitely a job I would recommend somebody could do themselves if they have those tools that I showed, which really is just a jack and like 4 different sizes of sockets and wrenches. So yeah, I didn't even need a big pry bar, which I was almost sure I was going to. I needed a medium-sized one just to wiggle the motor into place to get those bolts to line up. But overall, replacing the motor mount is something that's super important for your car, because if your motor mounts are bad, your motor will literally just rock back and forth or shift really hard whenever you go from park to drive, reverse to drive, when you shift gears real hard or put a different load on the motor. That's going to wear stuff out prematurely. Stuff in the motor bay, engine bay, isn't made to flex, so flexing can wear stuff out prematurely, as well as just breaking stuff, not even premature wear. So that's good to get replaced. That's something that's going to help this car stay on the road for a long time. Nice Toyota. If you like this video, make sure you're subscribed. You could check out the next video up here. If you want to help out, you can donate at the links in the description. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next episode. That's a job well done.